To see the entire 60-minute video, go to Yahoo Video and search Robert Morey on their homepage. These links will also get you there. www.putfile.com/lieutenantcolumbo/media or staugustinian.blogspot.com and look for important Dr. Robert A. Morey links.
A few weeks ago, you were mobbed in Texas, and can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, there I was speaking at University of Texas, Austin, on why I'm not a Muslim, and I was invited to give the lecture. It's an academic setting. This is the largest university in the United States. I think they have 75,000 students.
Wow.
And it's a very wealthy school with the Texas oil money and whatnot, the Texas Longhorns, for those who are football fans. And the way it worked out, almost 400 Muslims showed up, and these were Arab Muslim, not so much black Muslim, the Farrakhan kind. And to put it long and short, I gave my lecture, and then instead of giving me questions, they rioted.
This is from yet another radio show entitled Perspective on WGSL 91 FM with Kevin Johnson of Mount Carmel Outreach. And of course here Truth Seeker Bob makes his claim about 400 Muslims and a riot taking place, and even makes some statements about the University of Texas having 75,000 students and so forth. All of these things, the 400 Muslim students, the riot, and the 75,000 students at the University of Texas, are false. And once again, the listener is invited to get the research paper Islam Bob, and they will see pictures immediately following the lecture that Morey gave, and they will find out that Truth Seeker Bob is indeed making up tales to sensationalize his lecture.
Well, what I'm simply saying is that Christian scholars, above and beyond anyone else, should be utterly dedicated to telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help them God.
Not hype for the sake of hype.
Not sensationalism, not myths, not legends, not statements that cannot be documented, wild statements, for example. You're not doing Christianity a favor by spreading rumors that have no basis in reality. I'm simply trying to say, look, let's demythologize the situation. That is, take away the myths, the legends, the frauds. Let's get down to reality, and let's just stop pretending. You've got to understand, these people are simply lying. It's hype, and they're simply trying to sell books.
The previous was Truth Seeker Bob speaking on the Bible Answer Man radio show of August 8th, 1991, where he explains why people sensationalize, lie, and hype certain things.
Bob Morey often makes exaggerated or sensationalistic claims to embellish his own work. In the case of his Islamic book, the book entitled Islamic Invasion, he claimed that he read every book in the Library of Congress on the subject of Islam. Now, I, Larry Wessels, decided to investigate that claim by calling the Library of Congress and asking them about this.
And another subject heading may be Jewish-Arab relations, economic development, religious aspects, Islam. Now they still have got the Islam as their subject heading, but some of them may not. So some of them may be, their main primary subject entry may be economics, religious aspects, Islam. So it's still about Islam. Okay, I see. 5,569 books published since 1968 on the subject of Islam. Well, that would just be wrong for me to say that.
You can't say a specific number because of these things you've just been describing to me. Right. So if someone were to say he's read every single title in English on the topic of Islam, how would he possibly be able to do that if he were going there? Is it possible to do it if you were actually there in physical person? I mean, that seems like that would take an awfully long time because of the complexity you just described.
Right. I would say that would be a very highly unlikely that occurrence could happen. That could really happen.
Because you mentioned at the beginning of the conversation that was that just some figure you picked out of the air when you said 7,000?
No.
Okay. Oh, that was not.
No.
There, from your computer record, you were saying that there's like 7,000 titles.
Right. What I did is I just went ahead and searched Islam. I browsed Islam as a subject, and I've got 5,569 with the subject of Islam post-1968, 1,643 pre-1968.
Oh, and all these are listed in the Library of Congress, but as you described, the complexity level, which could be across different, economics or whatever.
Right.
Okay. I'm starting to see the situation here, but quite clearly.
And now let's hear a few more quotes from True Seeker Bob.
Because there are people like that who, if they really were honest and they really wanted to know the truth, they would be willing to look at this.
And there's a lot of liars out there. And Jesus said, be not deceived. There are lots of false prophets. They will come to you in sheep's clothing. And there's a lot of people who write a lot of books who lie about a lot of things. I'm just saying that I don't care if they're so-called Christian writers or non-Christian writers. Try to check it out.
That is, men who fear God. Therefore, they will be trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain.
I didn't have any previous training, but if a sucker can be taken once, he can be taken several times.
But you seem to go against the grain of from what I've heard.
Yeah, I'll make it very, very simple. When I was a student at Westminster, you must understand that God gifted me to be a profound reader. I mean, I'm talking 20 books an hour, 25 books an hour, where I literally would go and find such things.
Robert Morey, who has claimed in his ministry mailings that he held a degree from Faith Theological Seminary, Gujranwala, Pakistan, has had this supposed degree revoked by the same institute. The certificate of cancellation is seen here, and the school can be contacted for more information. Morey claims in newsletters that he has mailed out by the thousands nationwide during different years that the Wessel brothers of Texas had embezzled and stolen large sums of money from his ministry, and therefore he needs supporters to send him as much money as they can to make up for this. Morey has consistently made these claims about the Wessel brothers, who he, in more recent years, refers to as the Russell brothers of Texas. These claims have been made by national mailings, word of mouth, facts, in his church, at national conferences, and even on his national radio show over many years. Documentation and witness testimonies indicate Morey has claimed the Wessels have stolen anywhere from $30,000 to as much as $150,000. Instead of turning the Wessels over to law enforcement officials for criminal prosecution, Morey has chosen to seek those who will believe his Russell Brothers of Texas story in order to secure sympathy and financial support. If Morey's claims about the Wessels and or Russell brothers are untrue, then Morey is telling false stories in order to obtain money from the public. If you or someone you know has heard this story, or more importantly, if you have actually given money to Robert Morey as a result of this story, please contact us right away. Please contact Larry Wessels, Post Office Box 144441, Austin, Texas 78714, or call 512-218-8022 and leave a message. And now for a final word from True Seeker Robert Morey.
David, welcome to True Seekers.
Hello, Dr. Morey. How are you?
I'm doing fine, having more fun
than is legal, than is legal, than is legal, than is legal.